Yes, hello ladies and gentlemen. Right, my name is Denton Wilson. I'm going to try and give you a journey having prostate cancer and how I upped up having prostate cancer. Basically, I was born in Jamaica. I left Jamaica at 9, came to England. I did not know my father. And growing up in England, as I was getting into my teenage years, I started to have dreams. And I dreamt this man was calling me. And I couldn't understand why this man was calling me. He said, son. I'm thinking, my father is dead. And I kept asking my mom, tell me more about my father. And she could say, son, your father is dead. He died a long time. But the dream got stronger and stronger. And I vowed when I was old enough, I would go back to Jamaica. It took many, many journeys to find my father. It took me 42 years. And eventually I found my father. And the dreams I had was the same man that was in my dream. God has been a part of my life. He guided me, and I met this man. And I was in Jamaica for 2 weeks, and he fitted all the jigsaw puzzle in my life. And at that last week, my father fell ill. And he started to get weaker and weaker. And I thought, painkilling tablets to help him of the pain he was suffering. And it got worse and worse. And I was there at my father's bedside, and I slowly watched my father die. It was on the last day for me to come back to England. He said, son, I've got prostate cancer. I said, what is that? Because I've never heard of it. He said, son, please help me. Go back to England and see what you can do for me. And I said, Dad, listen, I've met you for 2 weeks. 42 years it took me to meet you, thanks be to God. And I'm not going to leave you now. I will come back. And I flew back off to England, give my farewell to my dad, hugged him, kissed him, told him that I loved him. And I'm glad that it was a part of my life. I got to England, and I got a phone call to say that my dad was dead. That was the worst thing in my life. I'm thinking how cruel God could be, making me meet my father, and now he was finally dead. I couldn't believe it. But there was something that was driving me to say, there has to be a reason for me to meet my father. So I went to my doctor. After I'd actually gone and buried my father, I had to go back to Jamaica, buried my father, come back. And I said to my doctor, can you give me some information around prostate cancer? And he goes, what do you want to know about these things? He says, you're fine, healthy, young man. What do you want? I said, I want to know. And the doctor didn't want, he's saying, nothing, why do you want to know all this? And he wouldn't let me, how can I put it? It was so hard for me to try and convince him. It was when I told him that I just buried my father, then he realized, and he goes, okay. So he gave me a test, which was a PSA test. And sure enough, I had cancer. I could not believe it. And then I got further tests. I had the biopsy and everything. And I was given roughly about 8 weeks to live if I did not do nothing about this. And I'm thinking, my life is done. But like I say, in the back of my head, somebody was saying, listen, there has to be a reason why this has happened the way it did. My father died to give me life, and he gave me life for a reason. And I had the operation. I had a choice to go through chemo or radiotherapy or have it took out. I chose to have it took out. And I prayed to God, and I said to God, please let this pass over me, and I'll show you what I can do. And surely enough, God blessed me. And I'm here now. I go up and down the country and talk to men around prostate cancer under the auspices of Prostate Cancer UK. I go out as I'm a kind of a pioneer. I want everyone to know. I stop men in the street and talk to them around cancer. Because men tend not to want to talk about issues around prostate cancer. It usually takes a woman to try and force the partners to go and get themselves tested. I remember having this cancer. When I went into the doctor's surgery, there was no information regarding prostate cancer. There was information around breast cancer, cervical cancer, bowel cancer. And I chose that I had to do something. I had to make a difference. And I went to the Houses of Parliament 3 times and lobbied the government to make changes regarding promoting the awareness of prostate cancer. Now you can go into the surgeries and you'll see information, leaflets that reflects to men, because you go into a surgery as a man, if there's nothing that you see that attracts you, you're not going to ask. Now they'll see that information and they can actually do that now, right? So I'm a part of that. I go beyond that. I'll do a lot of work with Sheffield Island University. They're helping me to put an app together, because within the black community, 1 in every black man will get prostate cancer in their lifetime, and in white men it's 1 in 8. So you can see the concerns that this information needs to be out there, right? A lot of black men that I approach, they tend to put their head in the sand, because some men, black men, believe it's a weakness. Some culture believe it's a weakness. It is not a weakness. It's something that's killing a man every hour. I'm a living proof of this. I'm a survivor. I was given a journey to take, and I'm taking this journey, and I go out into the community, and I do quite a lot of work. People don't really know, but there's a lot of things that I do. I mean, I go to Jamaica off my own bat, and I go around the country and I run workshops to promote prostate cancer, because so many black men is dying. People in Africa wants me to come over there. Can't get over there. Because they looked at what I've achieved. I've achieved this by basically 2 things. I look at the food that I eat and exercise. 2 simple things. And I looked at what is destroying me, what's destroying my being, and it's usually free radicals in the air, the food that we eat. So it's about eating right, eating the right food that will build up your immune system to fight against free radicals. And those are the kind of things that I've done over the years. I've researched and I looked at food things that's going to build me up. And that's what's happened to me. It's built me up. I even gone into bodybuilding, right? Having prostate cancer, going to bodybuilding, that was a tremendous feat, but I wanted that challenge. I became #1 in Britain, and I came 4th in the world as a natural bodybuilder. To promote the awareness, because it's a man-orientated sport, so I felt that being there, I went in there to show that you can actually defeat cancer, providing you get it early. And I promote the awareness. What happens is men don't talk to men about issues like that. Women talk to women regarding breast cancer. They're more open and they get things done. Men usually talk about their sexual experts, what they've done to one woman, how many women they have. But when something goes wrong down there, it's a taboo subject. They don't want to talk about it. They get embarrassed, right? Believe you now, when I go into the gym, men talk about ED, they talk about the relationship, and a lot of those men have actually helped, and they had cancer, and they did not know they had cancer. And it's because I've been out there promoting the awareness. Every day, I'm called upon to talk to men who has issues, talk to their families. At the moment, a lot of the people who I talk to now, quite a few of them are dead and gone now. They're terminally ill because they've gone, but they asked me to come to their bedside. Their family asked me to come to their house to talk to them, to reassure them, because I've been on that journey. And to me, it's heartbreaking for me because I'm a survivor, and some of those people have gone, they're not going to survive, but yet they still want me to be a part of their life, they're part of that, because they also need that support. I will continue doing the work that I do because I think it's important that information like this carries out. More needs to be done in creating this awareness, right? I'm competing next month for another bodybuilding competition. I want to be #1 in the world. That's what my aim is, because I want to reach the world to promote that you can beat cancer. I'm going to be 60. I'm 60 this year, right? All because at the age of 42, when I had cancer, I decided to change my life around. I looked at what we're eating and trained, and look at me now. I'm a living proof of having prostate cancer. I'm a real survivor. And other men out there are following suit. They're listening to what I'm saying, they're looking at what they eat, and their exercise. I actually go into their house and give them certain exercise to do. I even put menus to, I don't really call it diet, but menus that will actually help them to develop their immune system. Some of them who's on medication, loads of medications, the medication is actually decreased because of the food that I've implemented in their life. And these are the kind of things that needs to happen. We can beat cancer, right? But we've got to catch it early. And this kind of work is very important, right? And that's the kind of thing that I'm trying to do. Like I said, we're working with Alum University to try and promote an app that it can go out there, because people has mobile phone. And having something like that, you can actually tap in and get the information. I'm also looking at creating, getting a man van, trying to raise money for a man van that will go out into the community and administer PSA tests, all the kind of different tests, counseling, not only to the person with cancer, but also to the family. And all these things is important. I'm doing it by myself with the help of Alum University, who have been very, very helpful, right, in the cause that I'm doing, right? But more needs to be done. But I'm saying, watch this space, because like I said, I'm going to be number one in this world, 60 years old. And like I say, I want to reach Africa because they're asking for me to go there. I can't get there yet. But they're saying that I would be a good candidate to go out and talk about issues around things, prostate cancer. I'm not going to say too much, but there's a lot more to me than meets the eye. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time.